Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome to Saint Gabriel Church. Now, have a look at this. You can't actually see anything, just to you, you're looking into the blackness there. All right, let me tell you about the little bit of a twist. So I come onto this place and I realize, my friends, that I have been here before. It turns out that 17 years ago, when I was 19, I crashed a party here, and I crashed it with 15 of my DJ fans, and then they were noisy, so we all got kicked out by the boyfriend of the girl whose birthday it was. And the girlfriend thought that the boyfriend invited me, and the boyfriend thought, hello, the girlfriend invited me. So there you go, interesting story. All right, so here is Mor Gabrieloho. Now, talk about, you want to know a twist. Here is an interesting twist to this interview. So if anyone just saw on my Gab Live channel, I was wondering whether they were going to be religious or whether they were going to have some sort of secular component. I walk in, and it turns out that these guys are having this meeting as a prelude to a nationalist movement that they want to establish in the Middle East as the original inhabitants of Western civilization in the proto-West 4,000 years ago. The people who invented writing, and those of us who invented the original alphabet that has now spread around the world and become, of course, professionally enhanced, much better by everyone else in the world. Turns out that they're doing this against the priests' wishes. And none of the priests are going to even show up, apparently, because these guys are pro-nationalist and want to be secular. Oh my God, that is exactly the opposite of what I thought, and also exactly what I'm trying to do. And it turns out that Israel is the first and only country in the world to recognize the Arameans. And of course, these guys are now working with the Australian government to have the Arameans recognized here. And many other Chaldeans, Jacobites, Turkish, Semitic Turkish people, all these Semitic groups around the world want to unite and join under the Aramean identity. Thank you very much, Jade Diva. Now, who would have thought? How does this stuff happen to the Gabsmacked? If anyone knows me, you know this stuff always happens to me. I don't know how I fall into this crap. So now I am a part of a nationalist movement, and I told him about our Facebook page called the Greater Syro-Aramaic Community, which I think I'm going to change to the Aramean Community. I think I'm going to change it to that, or the Greater Aramean Community. So all of us can unite under the Semitic identity. Thank you very much, Mr. Bose. I appreciate it. I just can't believe this stuff happens. I don't know how this happens to me. Every time I try to do something, and then it just backfires into something that's actually in my favor. So now what I'm going to do is I want to show you the alphabet, right? So by the way, this is brought to you, don't forget, this is brought to you by Speaking Human, the tragedy of the retarded genius, available now at xlibris.com. All right. Oh, yeah. Here is the first ever alphabet by the Phoenicians. Right up there. I think we're part of the World Nations Group. Now, what's interesting is that this community, the Akkadians and the Sumerians, invented writing, but they did not invent the alphabet. They invented writing. So all people around the world, right, invented. This is their saint, by the way, Saint Gabriel. All right. So let me just get my stuff.
Oh, they live.
All right. So what happened was, right, that they, just like everyone in the world, was using cuneiform. Coincidences happen to me all the time, man. All right. So, Mr. Coincidence, I tell you. Anyway, so they were using cuneiform, Saint Gabriel. Oh yes, I don't know how this stuff happens. And cuneiform script is the script that the whole world was using, the ones that were able to learn the technique of writing. The only people who use it today in sort of any mass fashion are the Chinese. So the Chinese use cuneiform, which is basically a symbol or a picture for each word, right? Now the Phoenicians, being my ancestors, decided to use an alphabet because just by a series of luck and the situation around them forced them to innovate. And they came up with the alphabet. So that was the alphabet I showed you. And from that alphabet came every single other alphabet in history. And of course, new ones became much better. The Greeks made it better, then the Romans made it better. You know, then you had the runics and the Celts and all of those. All right, so moving on. Here we have this here is it's in English, in Syriac, which was the language Proto-Hebrew. Yes, this is Proto-Hebrew script. Daniel in the Old Testament spoke and wrote in this language. Right, and this is all the way from, this is their lineage. They have it in Syriac, in Arabic, and in Roman letters or in English. And I will look forward to talking to you, to interviewing them in detail. I just can't believe, it's just hilarious that I'm coming to interview them about their culture, and I was hoping they wouldn't be too religious. And what happens? I jump into the middle of a freaking original proto-West Semitic nationalist movement. I don't understand how this keeps happening, my friends. I don't understand. If someone else can explain it to me, let me know. I don't understand. Anyway, we will talk to you at the end of this speech, and we will have our little interview with everyone. And I'm excited. Don't forget, Speaking Human. I love plugging. Oh my God, I feel like such a capitalist. No, it's actually not in the church. It's in this little rotting house next to the church.